Despite Wednesday's 8-alarm blaze at Marcal Paper Mills burning so fiercely the fire could be seen from an incoming airplane, there were no injuries reported as of Thursday morning, officials said. No injuries were reported, said Fire Chief Michael Foligno at the 10 a.m. press conference at Elmwood Park Borough Hall. The fire almost completely incinerated the paper factory, with 90% of the complex's footprint gone, he said. Although authorities are still investigating, Foligno said the fire does not appear to be suspicious. There's nothing to lead us to believe there is anything suspicious, but that remains to be seen, Foligno said. Governor Phil Murphy was expected to get a tour of the factory's ruins and have a press conference Thursday afternoon. There was no indication that hazardous materials were involved in the fire, said Larry Hajna, spokesman for the state's Department of Environmental Protection. The DEP's Bureau of Emergency Response was on scene to help local fire and emergency management, he said. The DEP was in the process of establishing air monitoring, Hajna said. During the height of the fire, the smoke was rising thousands of feet in the air and dispersing, preventing monitoring the air from the ground level. On Thursday morning, with temperatures dropping to 2 degrees, some of the buildings in the area were glazed in ice as smoke still emanated from the Marcal ruins. Firefighters were still dousing some of the site's hotspots, said Fire Chief Michael Foligno. There were still flames at certain areas of the building, he said. Firefighters would be at the site of the fire until Thursday night the earliest, Foligno said. But it was more likely firefighters would remain on the scene until Saturday. Once the flames were completely extinguished, the arson squad would go to the site to investigate, he said. On Wednesday night at about 5 p.m., the fire tore through the 45,000-square-foot warehouse building, which acts as a distribution center for Marcal paper products. The flames consumed the building, and firefighters battled the intense heat of the flames amid the searing cold of the night. At 4:30 p.m., just a half hour before the fire erupted, Zbigniew Golko, who has been working at Marcal for 25 years, walked out of the factory, he said. As Golko watched the fire on the news, he couldn't believe that the factory was now destroyed. That was many people's livelihoods that are down the drain, Golko said. Drivers on Route 80 said they could feel the intense heat emanating from the scene from inside their cars on the highway. Onlookers reported explosion-like sounds near the scene that they suspected were pieces of the building falling to the ground. The warehouse held large paper rolls that are used to make toilet paper, paper towels and tissues. The conflagration burned so fiercely, the flames could be seen from airplanes arriving at Newark Liberty International Airport. A plume of smoke traveled as far as New York City. Embers floated throughout the area, setting fire to a small house on Patterson Avenue, which firefighters quickly put out. Some residences across River Drive were evacuated around 9 p.m. because of embers, but residents were back in their homes before midnight. Eventually, the fire engulfed the entire site. Hours after the fire began, the iconic Marcal sign that sat atop the Marcal Paper Mills building, visible from Route 80 since the 1940s, toppled down, falling into the flames and smoke. On Thursday, demolition crews were on standby, while the Bergen County Office of Emergency Management made sure the site was safe for crews to go in.